The attendant. The attendant, newly hired, walks through the wardroom in early evening and carries from bed to bed in the ward a tray full of juices that give no life where life is seeping. Walks clack-heeled down bed-filled rows, emptying bottles and gathering samples, adjusting the covers and taking temps, and stops at a bed. Oh, good evening, Mr. Meslowski. Your brain still young but jumbled. Last week you told me I am a foreman over 40 men. Tonight you speak past tense. When did you feel your backache was really millions of white cells spreading? Was your revelation during morning coffee? Now the drugs have splayed your mind out. Dazed you lie here mumbling about your factory pension. And keeps walking into the night, past shadows of mid-ward sinks and hopeless accident cases, their bodies torn and shredded as if war dead, working deep in the night where the only light streams in from the street in lattice-shadowed frameworks of tree branches. Oh, hello, Mr. Gaskill, with your threadbare Bible, gathering dust in the nightstand drawer, your legs swollen black as dead tree branches. Come on, Mr. Gaskill, lift up your leg. You've had that thermometer long enough. I have to run get a sample off Shallow Breath. He lives here too, unconscious in coma, 6 beds down the line. And walks on through the shadows. Doctor, doctor, give me Wasser. The nighttime mirage for old stroke cases. Walks to the end of the ward and the linen-skewed bed of this touch-and-go diabetic. I could put him through insulin shock for a change, muses the attendant, and then remembers a run-in with an erotic nurse, her quick breath off her lips, hot against his lips and chest, and reaching for this diabetic's sample, feels his patient reaching with his insides for a breath. Keep the home fires burning, Mr. Shallow Breath, mumbles the attendant, who cannot watch the gasping, but turns his back and shuffles to the next ward bed, thinking of the pantry and his pantless nurse. And keeps going soft-shoed in the darkness, pouring water for parched lips and adjusting plastic oxygen tents, waiting for day to break through the blinds and shaft the ward with light and dust. If there's got to be death, let it be on the next shift's hands, and stops on the night's last round. Uncontrolled, his nostrils twitch from the stench, and the glazed eyes of the hopeless paralytic, blinking away from dreamland to watch the attendant clean up his mess. Those old glazed eyes grown cold, reaching through dreams of manhood for a lost vision of dignity. Wiping your backside may splatter my jacket, but soon you will die from an unhealing spine, and walks away feeling his own manhood slipping. keeps right on walking through endless nights of wardroom sick into job promotion on a private floor where the quality of food is higher and the smell of death is disinfected, and thinks to himself, I've seen enough death. I can judge a man's condition with my fingertips. Walks into day work with visitors and small change running for coffee. And during his round, he breaks at the nurse's station. Nurse, it seems that patient Uncle Simon has finally stopped dying. Extra duties annoy her. The tags and certificate, finding a doctor to make a pronouncement. Look here, mister, I'll worry about which men are dying. You keep cleaning their pans. If the man's gone out, then take this shroud and do your job. So the attendant strolls away mumbling, threading through Sunday visitors, the shroud a dead weight in his arms, imagining this mouthy nurse, entwined and panting in his arms, and reaches finally the 4-bedroom at the hall's end, last home for dead Uncle Simon. He curtains gray uncle from the other beds and the sick politeness of visitors. Meticulous, he shakes and drains him, lifts his legs, neck turned away from the hiss of gas, then diapers and pins him, careful not to bruise him. Curious, he studies the sundries in the opened drawer, the aged wallet from another country, and stares about his heiress toward the hushed tones of the living and their guests, awake in the lightfall, hesitant, wondering about sunlight and his shadow. Footsteps, movement in the room. The nurse to tag him or gather the stuff, or one of Simon's once-a-month nephews. The hair stands on his neck. He snatches a Lincoln-faced bill, bow ties the shroud, and slips back to the sunlight with the living, tired from the business, behind in the round, glad for the newfound money. I need a good tip, expert at his work, and somewhat empty.